In episode 133, and welcome into the Benches Clear podcast, where we cover the best rivalry in all of sports. I am Jesse Gutierrez, and I represent the side of the San Francisco Giants. Won 500 this week.
Cool. That's it.
That's it.
And I'm Doyer's Dave representing the Dodgers side. We went 3-3 as well, man. 500. Wanted to be just like you guys, huh?
Yeah, apparently.
Not a good week. A 3-3 week for you guys is good. For us, not so great. But before we even get started, I do want to say, even though the Dodgers lost, the Dodgers also won. Because it's always a good day when, Shohei Ohtani gets cleared, which means the haters are angry. And when the haters lose, it's a good day. So
yeah, I mean, a good cover-up job is when it becomes successful. I mean, you got to be happy about it. You got to be happy at the fact that Shohei Ohtani was probably guilty of multiple crimes.
The conspiracy theories,
and he got away with it. He got away with it, and congratulations, guys! You guys did it.
I'm just happy that the FBI was in cahoots with MLB, obviously.
MLB and the Dodgers for sure.
Yeah, they're like, we can't let this happen. FBI, we're so worried about the baseball world. We have to cover it up. So
it's obvious that the FBI are definitely Dodger fans. Sorry.
Couldn't they just rigged other crap? Couldn't they have rigged the World Series already then? If we have them in our back pocket like that, could we have just, you know what I mean?
Well, even a lot of corrupt organized crime, as you know, has its limits. So,
as I know, since I'm part of one or something, apparently.
Exactly, yeah. There's limits to this before it gets too crazy. So that's just the situation that we're in right now.
Covering up gambling, anything, yes. Covering, making a game go our way, too far, guys.
Too far. You can't do it. No drinks. Can't do it.
Settle down.
I just feel like, I don't know, man. And part of this is, is it me being a hater? Probably, in all honesty.
A show hater. You're a proud show hater.
Now I am. I mean, last year I was very, Shohei Ohtani is great. 2 years ago, I was like, Shohei Ohtani should win the MVP over Aaron Judge.
You had a lot of empathy, huh? And then he started wearing...
Well, it's not empathy. It's saying like he was
started
good.
Wearing this shade of blue.
He was great for baseball, and now that he's playing for the Dodgers, he's fucking terrible for baseball, at least in my view of baseball. So that's all I can comment on. So, I mean, that's just the way it is. Just like the Major League, Jack Parkman shimmy. It makes the girls scream, and then, it makes the girls want to puke after he gets traded. So that's just, that's just the way it is.
It is just the way it is. It's just one of two ways it was going to go. Either people are going to admit they were wrong, or they're just going to double down and now say that the FBI is part of it. And when that doesn't work out, then they're going to say that, whatever. The president was helping him also. He pardoned him. Exactly. It's just going to keep going higher and higher.
Or maybe it's just, they don't allow him to talk, so he can't say anything stupid. He can't make his confession on national TV because he's not questioned by the media, as a lot of people are saying. All the smart people and all the greatest people in the world, they've been saying that, I've heard. So
I love that fans and journalists are like, we need answers. Like, you owe us answers. Like, no.
Well,
when there's an ongoing investigation,
right?
No, I really don't owe you any answers right now.
I get that part of it, but there is we also have to admit there's also a part of, how do you say, you should answer to the media. Like, you should have to answer you can't just hide behind, just hide behind your locker and not take questions for anything. I get it. It's an ongoing investigation, but that's kind of Shohei Ohtani's MO, right? Where he only takes questions and stuff on after he starts and stuff. He doesn't do questions, and he's the biggest star in baseball, and it's I don't know,
and yet they don't want to know about his baseball stuff. They're more worried about the gambling and all that stuff. Answer baseball questions all day. Ongoing investigation.
Come on, this is a star we're talking about here. I mean, people don't ask LeBron just basketball questions. They ask him a lot of
No,
other
no, I
questions
mean,
too.
sure,
So,
but like he's just gonna say like I can't answer that right now. Like it's still ongoing. So ask me
right,
all you want. I'm just gonna give you the Marshawn Lynch. I'm just here so I don't get fined. Because
right.
what else is he gonna tell you?
That's true. Yeah, and I get that. It's just, I don't know. It's also a little funny to me, just mildly funny how big of a victory lap some people on Twitter have, Dodger fans on Twitter. Like, you actually still don't know, right? Like, there is a
No,
small
I mean,
chance.
well, I mean, if the authorities cleared him, what more do we need?
I don't know, but like for instance, like I don't think it's. I get it, right? I get what you're saying. He's cleared. Probably was 100% innocent, but just the whole thing of I knew the whole time. How would you ever think that this guy is guilty? It's like, well, you don't know. He could have easily been guilty. He wasn't. I mean, he's cleared. Cool, but like he's your best friend and you knew him. Like, I knew this guy for 2 weeks. He wouldn't
You
fucking do
don't
something like that.
you don't know Shohei like that?
Not no, not yet. I knew his interpreter really well. So
Oh, I okay.
yeah.
Yeah.
He actually stole some money from me as well, which I'm trying to get
I'm sorry,
back.
but that's gone, dude. He's not even in the country, so it's done.
Oh, then he's cleared. He's got Shohei's money. I mean, I know Shohei's really struggling, making $2 million a year. Um, but I think he'll survive. I don't think he pays for
Hopefully.
anything in LA now. So
Yeah. I mean, I guess we can move on. Like, who cares? You know, people are
we
still
can
gonna
move on. We
people are
can move
still gonna have
on.
conspiracy theories about like
Right.
FBI's in on it or whatever else. He based the
Yeah.
fall guy.
Conspiracy theories on the truth. I get it. We can move on. We can definitely move on until more information comes out, and it was actually Shohei Ohtani was the bookie the whole time. It's like a Scooby Doo episode.
Plot twist. I
Yeah.
was the bookie.
So, but yeah, I in in all honesty, listen, I'll never feel bad for the Dodgers, but it is also if there was any team that got hit with so many suspensions for players being terrible people, I'm glad it happened to the Dodgers. I'm not glad those things happened and those guys are dickheads. Charbarius, list goes on. But if it happened to one team, I'm glad it happened to the Dodgers.
Uh, all right. I mean, don't hold back, man. Please tell us how you really feel.
I
You
mean,
know,
I'm just saying, if one team would be hurt by it, I mean, I'm not that upset. But we could talk about baseball. A lot of baseball happened this week. We
we
can we can go
did.
that route.
Yeah, I mean, we did have a couple of predictions. Last episode, we were we predicted how they were going to do this week or the last couple
Right.
of series. I believe I said they were going to go 5-1.
So I was
Ooh.
closer. So I win.
So you were wrong.
I was wrong. I
Also,
was less wrong.
you were
I was
less.
less wrong.
So you were less wrong. Yeah.
If we were graded on a curve, I would have an A and you would have an F. But
I mean, they everybody's mad about the whole Shohei thing going on. I'm upset about that third game in Chicago where they were so adamant about getting it in that
mm,
these guys were playing in puddles.
right.
And so I'm like, just forfeit, just leave, go to Minnesota. Like, let's just stop this. I mean, there was a point where Rojas couldn't even grip the ball and he threw it away or something. And it took that for them to be like, oh yeah, let's stop the game.
Well,
But
how many innings did they end up going?
they were around the fourth inning in that when that happened.
Ooh.
Fourth or fifth. Yeah, they were trying to get into that fifth inning. I mean, everybody knew that they were just trying to get past that fifth inning, but um pretty reckless, man. They're lucky neither teams got hurt because if one player got hurt, it would have been really bad because they should have stopped the game.
I get that. I really do. But at the same time, with this new schedule and the way they do things, it's really hard to make up games. So, but at the same time, because they're not gonna. I mean, the game was how many innings did they end up going? They
No,
they
they finished the
played.
game. They
Oh,
finished the
okay.
game. Yeah, yeah.
So I mean, I think after 6 innings is when they can call it an actual game, if I'm not mistaken.
I thought it
Um,
was 5.
is it five?
Yeah, I
Oh,
believe it's 5. Yeah.
maybe I'm crazy, but
Well, that's besides the point, but
Yeah, right.
yeah.
But like, I just don't understand because the whole argument, like, the home and away thing, it's like, but you also play them, you know, away. Why can't you just make up half the game at Dodger Stadium when you see them? You
Yeah.
know,
I mean,
but
thankfully they
because if you're
finished
not
it,
going to
but
make it up anyways, it's like, well, you already got the ticket money for the people that showed up. So, I mean, you're not going to be getting more money for it. So,
yeah. But going back to my original point, we did lose 3 games. um, that it's not that I don't count that game. I think that game was, I hate the weather when they go this early in the season because it's horrible. But no excuses. They still lost 2 games. They should have handled. Bobby Miller didn't pitch very well. I mean, when your starting pitcher gives you 2 innings, you're in for a fight. The bullpen helped up a little bit, but they're still struggling, man. There's a lot of players that we're missing that are on the IL. I think we have Trinan. Um, who's I'm missing some names, but we're missing pieces from the bullpen, and it's showing right now. If there's a leakage on the team, it's that, man. We need to fix that in quick.
yeah, or don't. I mean, like at some point, it's like, do you have to have everything all the time?
Well, if you want to win a World Series, yes.
Oh gosh, whatever.
I'm not asking for Josh Hader and other relievers to be brought in. I just want our guys healthy. Is that too much to
Whatever.
ask for?
Well, let's talk about a team who won their first series this week, and that's the Giants. I'm going to talk a little bit more about Jordan Hicks a little bit later, so I'm going to gloss over him. But in this Padres series, everything was going good. Tyro Estrada had a nice walk off. In game one. Game two, I mean, the offense was just non-existent. But I guess the positive would be Keaton Winn looked good. I mean, he gave up. He had a couple of errors that happened on the field and gave up the grand slam to Jerkson Profar. But after that, really calmed down. Gave 5 innings and looks like a really solid, number 5 guy. They'll let Alex Cobb heal and come back on his own time. So, and then game 3, the Giants are just allergic to giving Logan Webb a win. He goes 7 with 2 earned runs. And the Giants didn't really deserve to win that game, to be honest with you. But when you have a giant DH that's built of just pure muscle, he can bounce a
Do you guys have
baseball out of
Ohtani?
people's gloves with his no, Jorge Soler, monster.
Oh, the guy that strikes out entirely too much. Yes, yes, yes.
Yeah, way too much. Doesn't gamble, but he does strike out a lot.
Oh, okay.
But his big ass
Okay.
shoulder knocked the baseball out of Hassan Kim's glove. I don't know. I can't say his freaking name. Future Giant Hassan Kim. But yeah, I mean they squeak out a 3-2 win, and you won the series. And I guess no matter how you win, a win is a win. It is what it is.
I feel like
And
I feel like you guys. That's gonna be the story of your season, huh? Like, if the offense shows up, then you'll have a
we're good.
good chance to win
Right.
because you got good pitching.
Correct.
The bullpen is not as bad as it's been. It's not going to be that bad. I feel like they're a really good bullpen.
Thank you. I feel the same way. Right. Because
and
I feel like Tyler Rogers always starts the season slow. And he always sucks against the Dodgers in Dodger Stadium. So,
but these like 3-2 wins, like two, like that's if you guys can get some offense, I feel like you can separate a little bit from the pack.
yeah, that's Giants baseball. That's torture baseball. That's how they got their world championships. So I mean
And I hope it doesn't happen. I hope you guys, stay
mm,
with the pack for the rest of the season. But I'm just saying,
right.
analysis.
Smart guy talking here.
Yeah.
Numbers and words.
And then you guys faced the Nationals. How'd you do there?
Nationals. Snell's debut was game 1. You knew his pitch count was going to be low. So and with the way he pitches, it's no shocker that he went 3 innings. He did look good.
Was that the
first
plan?
What?
Was 3 innings? Was that the plan the whole time?
No, I think there was a pitch count. So I think they
Okay.
were hoping for him to go a little further. I mean, he did give up, I think it was 25 pitches in the first inning. I mean, he did strike out, I think it was like 2 out of 3 batters in the first inning. I mean, looked really good the first inning, but kind
Yeah.
of lost it a little bit later. You kind of made a comment about just trying to get his adrenaline. This is the first time he got his adrenaline going. Missing out on spring training and stuff. But you know, it kind of is what it is. That game was just a dud. It it got ugly quick. CJ Abrams just destroys us now that he's in a Nationals uniform for some reason. Lost that game pretty bad. I mean, in game two, Harrison looked really dominant. He gave up 3 runs going 6, but he struck out 8 and he looked really good. So he's really promising. But it's just it, just like with all Giants teams. I mean, it's just the story of if they're going to give any offense. I mean, the offense looked really bad. They were 1 for 6 with runners in scoring position, left 11 runners on base. In So they load the bases in the 9th inning, nobody out. It was 5-3, I believe. So it was like, dude, we got it's rolling. The Nationals suck. This closer can't even Finnegan can't even find the strike zone. He's just giving away walks. No big deal. But then Conforto has a weak ground ball, and then Soler does not run through a guy's glove for this double play, and it was what it was. It looked really bad. The Giants play the Nationals really bad. It's kind of their MO. I think I saw the stat of going into the third game that the Giants lost 8 of the last 10 they played against the Nationals. So I don't know if that's just, the curse of 2014, knocking them out when they were, the best team in baseball. And then now we just can't beat them ever during the regular season. I don't know. But, but game 3, Jordan Hicks, game stopper. Talk about him later, but that's a whole nother story. But offense did explode. I mean, forever Giant Nick Ahmed is just a monster. RBIs and multiple hit games. And the Giants actually got a stolen base. So, there's that. They're not the slow team anymore. They're stealing bases. They're running all over the place. Young, athletic. Let's go.
So 3-3.
Big money. So 3-3.
So 3-3, basically.
In all honesty, I just feel like, I don't know. I want to complain about the Nats series and how they could have flipped a game, but at the same time, they really didn't deserve to win that game 3 against the Padres. So, I mean, it was a very 500 week on a positive end. Enough about the Nationals and how they beat our ass all the time. Okay, let's talk about something great, and let's just only focus on today's game. I mean, I guess you have to talk about the rest of the series, but let's talk about how Carlos Correa just mowed down Shohei Ohtani, who has dumb base running moves.
Well, first of all, it had to be like the perfect relay. Everything had to go perfect, and they just got him. But it was one of those days. Our offense wasn't clicking. We were missing a lot of opportunities, and just 3-2. I mean, when you score 2, it's just not going to be enough, especially against a bad Minnesota team. It's not a good look. Like they faced who was it, Paddock today? Yeah, we faced the Sheriff, and I thought we were just going to tee off on him, man. I remember when he was with the Padres. He didn't really fare too well against us. So
he was supposed to be like the dude. I remember when he first came up.
The new sheriff in town. I remember
Right,
it. It was. Anyways, he pitched pretty well. He kept the lineup. I mean, our 6 through 9 batters are really, really bad. Like it really drops after the 5th hitter, whether it's Lux, Taylor, Kike, whoever they put in those last third. They're just not hitting right now. So
I feel like it's because maybe pitchers are like, you just finished that 1 through 5, and you're like, well, I have to get these guys out. So you pump it up because you're like, this is the easiest part of the lineup, and I don't want. Then I gotta get these outs, or else I gotta have people on base with Mookie, Freddie, and then Ohtani, or Ohtani then Freddie, whatever.
that's a good cope, but I just feel like these guys need to step it up a little bit, man. We're gonna go over our studs and duds later, and there's plenty to choose from that bottom of the order. But besides that, the first 2 games were really good. Tyler Glass now is just chef's kisses, man. 14 Ks, and he makes it look so easy on 80 pitches. He could have still been out there if it was like a later game in the season. And the second game, we won 6-3. Forgot who was pitching. Paxton. No, wait. No. Paxton pitched the first game. Glass now the second game. Yeah. Okay. But yeah, I thought it was gonna be a sweep, man. When you see Paddock there, they're like, this is they're going away. It's a going away game. It should be, a good flight. Didn't work out. That perfect throw killed all momentum and just never came back from that.
Sweeping it seems really fun, and we hope to be part of one someday, and I'm sure it'd be great.
On
But I
the
mean, I
opposite
think
side, I mean, you've been part of a couple of sweeps, right?
no, we got swept. I'm talking about doing the sweeping. I would love to be a maid, and I would love to be doing the sweeping. I want to be a janitor and do some sweeping. But I think it's clear that Tyler Glasnow is probably your best pickup so far.
Oh
I
yeah.
mean, and not that Shohei Ohtani like isn't. I mean, I think he started off a little slow, and obviously Shohei Ohtani is Shohei Ohtani, but seems like Tyler Glasnow is probably your ace right now.
Oh, definitely. Ace now and ace later. Like he's the ace for a while if he keeps it up like this.
Right.
Yeah. Where you
What can
have
you do? You
14 strikeouts. Yeah. Crazy. He makes it look so easy too, man. He's a huge guy too. Like
right.
he's freaking tall. If you ever wanted to be, you want to build a pitcher, I think that's how the perfect, perfect guy to model it after.
Just a beautiful man with beautiful hair.
Beautiful hair, long arms, so he can, just reach over the plate and just drop the ball wherever he wants it.
Pulled me up with his strong arms. Yes. Yeah, I mean there's a lot of good things this week. I think it is time. When we're talking about studs all over the place, let's go for stud and dud of the week. I'm gonna go first. Um, just cause I guess. Because I am a tall, beautiful man. I people tell me I look like Tyler Glass now all the time. So,
That's true. I was
um,
telling him right before the podcast. I was like, "Hey, man,
exactly.
I just want to take a minute and appreciate your greatness.
Yeah, right,
The
right.
long locks, the
The
beautiful
long,
face."
there's a reason I wear hats everywhere, and yeah. So,
I was like,
yeah.
I was not aware I was doing a podcast with Tyler Glasnow's doppelganger.
Gosh, now I'm blushing. Let's talk about depressing things and how Mike Yastrzemski, a once loved figure, and I still love him, and I'm hearing, all this DFA, Mike Yastrzemski, this and that. We're 2 weeks into the season. I understand it's very tempting because Luis Matos is destroying in AAA, and I get it. But I don't know. You got to wait a little bit before you let go of someone like Yastrzemski. I think I mean, the next step I think would be to hope. Not, I want to say hopefully. The next step would be, I don't know. I'm sure someone in the outfield's going to get hurt, either a Slater or Yastrzemski, and then that's when Mato should get his everyday at bats, and then leave Yastrzemski or Slater, basically as a fourth outfielder, for pinch hits late in the game or whatever. But that is going way off the rails. I'm sorry, Mike Yastrzemski, my dud of the week. um, a long-winded way of saying that. He did get his first hit this week, which is kind of insane, but he's still hitting 167 for the week. I mean, an OPS of 377. So there's not much you could say. I mean, he still plays a good defense, and he's a guy that you really root for. And I really hope he does good. It's just right now he really isn't. So, but let's hear about it. I would love to hear about a dud on your side because I'm sick of hearing how great the Dodgers are. Let's talk about someone who's terrible over there.
Yeah, I think we're in the same boat
Mm.
when it comes to picking our duds because we do have admiration for these players because they've been there a while and you're grateful for what they've done, but you can also call a spade, and they're struggling right now. And Chris Taylor, man,
Ooh,
he's off to a rough start.
postseason
And
hero.
I know he's not an everyday player. I know he's a bench player. I know he comes in, but he has 27 at bats this year. You know, he has one hit. So I could have chosen him last week, this week. It would have still would have been the dud of the week. Um, it's just rough, man, because he has come through in big spots for us in the playoffs, but it's just looking really rough. And then it's like you can't DFA him. You know,
Right.
he's and it's too early to do it. He might turn it around, but it's just looking rough. It's not just like it's this year. It's he's been a little bad for a while now. So I hope he turns it around, but I don't know. It's just rough right now. One hit, average of .037. I mean, it's rough.
Right. And I think it's also kind of hard too because there's a lot less lefties in the NL West.
Yeah.
Um,
And
so it's definitely hard for guys like that,
he
and
doesn't
even
hit
like Austin
righties too
Slater.
well.
So,
Yeah.
right.
It's yeah, exactly. And he doesn't hit righties too well, so it's not like he's gonna get a chance against righties. So when you're missing against the guys that you do well against, it's kind of rough. So hopefully he turns it around, but right now he's definitely the dead of the week.
Yeah, we say this as inspiration.
Yeah.
Next week, we'll just mainly for Yastrzemski, but yeah, it's motivation. I mean, I want Yastrzemski to come out next week and have 3 bombs and be the stud. So let's put that on him. But one guy who's going to continue to be a stud because he's just him. I mean, loss stopper. Just killed two. The second time killing losing streaks. If you can count two as a losing streak, I mean, I will in this instance because it helps my argument.
It's not
Um,
it's not really good to be the loss stopper though, right? Because then I mean you want to be the win extender.
right,
I mean you don't
yeah.
want to be the stopper all the
But you
time.
know what? If there is losses going on, Jordan Hicks is not going to let it continue. He's going to stop that shit because he's just that guy. I mean, 2 games he pitched this week, 13 innings pitched, 2 earned runs. Not a whole lot of Ks, but he gets a lot of ground outs. Really use that double play ball to get him out of a couple jams. To be really efficient to go deep into games. I think he could have went a little deeper in today's game, but I think they're also being a little cautious with him, knowing that this is his first year as a starter. They were up at the time, I think 7-1, or no, at that time I think it was 4-1. I mean 5-1. So you know, um, I think it was smart to kind of, if you can give him some rest, to not push him, especially this early in the season. You don't do it. But I mean, this is a guy who's making $11 million a year. He's 27 years old. He's not one of these opt out guys. So his whole prime is going to be with the Giants. And if he continues to be this good, or even, close to being this good, I can't imagine a better looking contract for 4 years. Someone's prime, 11 million a year. Um, and he's just that guy. I mean, his shit looks completely nasty. It's not like he's getting hit hard and it's just finding gloves. It's You got a good infield. Jordan Hicks is going to be a good starter for you. Knock on wood. He looks like he's really durable so far, in 3 games. But Jordan Hicks, absolute stud.
Nice. Yep.
Voice.
I could pick a couple of guys because there's a couple of guys doing pretty well.
We get it. All right. The Dodgers are good. All right.
Yeah, but I mean, I think the most worthy one definitely is Tyler Glass now. I think he was overlooked when they got Ohtani and how big he is, of course, rightfully so. But he's been everything advertised and then some. His last start against the Twins, he went 7 innings, 14 strikeouts, and then he scattered 3 hits. He looks dominant, and for a team that hasn't had a dominant starter for a while, maybe the last dominant might be Bueller before he got hurt, but I don't think we've had one that's like dominant, dominant. We've had really good pitchers. Kershaw, I don't think he's dominant anymore. Like he doesn't overpower you, but he
Mm,
still pitches very well. Bobby
right.
Miller can be that at times, but there's no consistency yet. Um, so this is truly our ace, man, and he's showing it. So definitely the stud of the week, and hopefully he keeps going, man, because it's really fun to watch him pitch.
It is a positive thing because I mean Patrick Bailey is his father. You know, home run and a double off of
There's
him.
there's always that random nobody that owns you. So yeah,
Don't be that guy. All right, Patrick Bailey is a guy. All right, Patrick Bailey is a legitimate guy. All right,
Patrick Bailey is that guy behind the plate, but he's not that guy with the bat. So when he hit that shot that first time and he hit it like he knew, like it was something he does, I was like, okay, dude, you're feeling yourself a little
that's what I'm
bit.
talking about, baby. I mean, he
But
was. I think he's, in all honesty, and this might make some Giant fans really upset, but because ever since Buster Posey retired, we're looking for the next Buster Posey. Everyone keeps comparing everyone to Buster Posey. Joey Bart was even the next Buster Posey. Now they want Patrick Bailey to be the next Buster Posey. The thing is Patrick Bailey is more of a Yadier Molina than a Buster Posey. So, and if you have, a career like that guy, just extremely good defensively and then can be above average offensively.
just pick your spots when you come through. I mean,
Yeah,
that's all
like
you really
if you're
need.
going to be hitting like 270, hit like 15 bombs, dude,
I
you're going to be
mean,
one of the greats if you're a catcher.
like I love Will Smith and I love the fact that he's starting off really hot, but all we really need from him is good defense and then, come through in some spots. We don't need him to, he's not the main part of the offense. So, I mean,
Just
that's
let
what you need from your catchers.
Yeah,
You know what I
let
mean?
him know that because I'm sick of
But I
I'm
need
sick
him
of the
to
home
continue
runs.
to own the Giants. I need him to,
Yeah, I'm sick
everybody
of the
in all
freaking
this.
walk off home runs and the freaking big 3-run home runs. Whatever, fuck that, dude. You can quote me on
And,
that.
and man, speaking of like watching our enjoying Hicks pitching and enjoying Glass now really pitching, what do you think of these injuries? Like just every day, it seems like it's a daily occurrence that there's a new
Right,
update, like a new pitcher.
right. I
And
I feel like I don't know. I feel like this is. I know people are trying to put it on the pitch clock, and that's the thing too. I'm not a pitcher, obviously, so it's really hard to say this, but I feel like it makes a lot more sense that this is a side effect from banning all sticky stuff and foreign substances versus the time. Oh my gosh, why am I forgetting exactly what they call it? The pitch clock. Oh my gosh, that was so stupid. But the pitch clock, to me, the pitch clock doesn't really make sense. But then again, I'm not a pitcher. I could be really stupid saying that. But to me, it makes a lot more sense that, the guys that were using, obviously, minus the guys that are using spider tack and are gluing their fingers to the ball, and getting crazy spin on it. Yeah, obviously that was really bad. But the guys who were just, using some extra stuff to get like some nice tackiness to the ball, I don't think that's bad, and I think that is what causes injuries versus. And it is the high velocity thing too. I can understand that, but I think the thing that's changed over the past couple of years is the sticky stuff.
I think it is a combination, though. I think there's a video out there last now actually talking about it, and it's really informative because he said once he stopped using the sticky stuff, he's like the next time I went out there, he's like no problem. He's like I went out there and I felt good and I was like I had a good outing. He's like but the next day I felt like crap. He's like
Right.
I was sore everywhere. He's like because I had to grip it tighter, I had to grip
Mm-hmm.
it differently,
Mm-hmm.
and like it puts stress on different parts of your body that I didn't know.
Right.
But I also think that these guys are throwing max effort all the time,
Right.
and this is why they sometimes only go 5 innings. And
Right.
I was trying to pay attention to today's start with Miller. That guy throws hard, but you could
Right.
see him trying to throw hard sometimes. You know what I mean? So, and you're
He's not
doing that
Bruce Gratterall. Bruce Gratterall looks like he rolls out of bed with 100.
and just lobs it, and
Literally looks like that. I always say this. He looks like a position player pitching, but he just throws fucking 100 versus a 50-mile-an-hour lob.
yeah. And I mean, you have Strider too. Like that guy, Quadzilla. Like he just throws as hard as he can. And he's a great pitcher, but now he's on his second Tommy John. You don't know how he's going to come back. I don't know if they did say it was Tommy John, but in case it happens, it would be a
Right.
second.
Right.
Um, yeah, I don't know how you fix it because I don't know if you do because if you do bring the sticky stuff back, there's obviously some guys that are going to take advantage of it and then go beyond what they just should do.
Right.
So
I there's got to be a way, and not only maybe not like sticky stuff when it comes to. I mean, Japan uses the pre-tacked balls. Like, I just don't understand why they just don't use that. And then inspect people for their fingers, or maybe use a foreign substance that has actual color to it, so like you can tell what the actual like what that substance is. You know what I mean? Like,
And
because
I
then
do like,
your other foreign substance, you're going to be trying just to match it, and if it's a little bit off, the trained eye,
yeah,
you'll be able to tell. But because I mean, when the guys are using sunscreen and rosin, and they were using stuff like that, it's not adding spin rate to the ball. It's just making sure the guys freaking can grip the shit.
exactly. I
So
think that's what Glass now said. He goes, I was just
right,
using sunscreen and rosin. He's like, I just needed a grip. He's like, I have enough spin, man. Like I can
right,
spin the ball. Like I don't need extra. It's like I just needed a
right.
grip.
Well, and at that point, I mean, I think everyone would love a little extra.
Yeah.
Hey, yo. But I, I mean, there's, I don't know. I guess I don't. I want to say it's pretty easy to just be like, hey, here's the gunk you can use. And then do the same finger inspections. I feel like if they're using the one thing that you're allowed to use, right? Just make it one thing that they're allowed to use. Umpires should be able to tell the difference on how something feels if it's only one substance they're allowed to use. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like, if like this is way stickier, yo, we need there's got to be like, do they have? I mean, there's got to be a way to be like, nope, this is sunscreen and rosin, like, and to be like, no, this is something different. You're out. Like,
Yeah, and they got to find a way something because I don't know if this will hurt them in their negotiations. When they're free agents, how much they get paid because they are
yeah,
they're not going to be durable. They're
tell
going
that
to
to
start
Shane Bieber.
they're going to
He's
start
literally
treating
about
them
to go
like
into
running
free.
backs.
Yeah, he's
Running backs
supposed to,
don't get paid.
right.
So,
Yeah, I mean, Shane Bieber literally is about to go into free agency. He was gonna for sure get $100 million contract. I mean, he did have injuries before. Maybe he might have gotten like the 2 year with the opt out super high, AAV, like a 30 million thing, like Snell got. But that's still a lot of money,
and that's a guy
And
that doesn't
now,
really yeah, that's a guy that doesn't rely on speed. It's
yeah,
all about, you know,
right. But
moving the
now
ball,
he's
moving
gonna
the ball
go to
around, yeah.
Tommy John. He's gonna be a year out, and then when he comes back, it's gonna be like 15 mil, prove it year. And then even after he does good, probably have to do another prove it year. And then after that, he's gonna be like, well, you're 35 now, so you might be able to get like a 2-3 year contract at a low AAV
That's what I'm saying. Like I think it might hurt the sport a little bit
for
because
sure.
you guys got guys like Bobby Miller, who's an up and coming, he's really good and you'd love to sign him to a long term, but then you're going to look at the Strider deal and be like, well, we did sign him for a long term and he was really good for a bit, but then he broke down. So,
Right. There's always been those pitchers, right? Though, like, the Tim Lincecums, the Johan Santanas, where they were very, very dominant for a small period of time.
yeah.
In the grand scheme of things, So, I mean, is it just more of those guys that are kind of adopting like that mindset? Is it, a sticky thing? Is it the pitch clock? I mean, I don't think it's crazy to think that like, people are just trying to, do whatever they can to get 2-3 miles an hour on their fastball because that's what teams want to see and that's what's going to get them paid.
Yep.
Um, you know, Pitchers don't get paid, throwers get paid. So it's like, I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, you got even one of the biggest workhorses in the sport in Garrett Cole getting injured. I mean, it's bad. They
But that's the
they need
thing
to find a way to
too.
make.
I mean, that's also the question too. Is there a certain amount of innings on your arm, or are they not being worked out to have their arm be used to doing that for a full season and for multiple seasons? I mean, same thing with Madison Bumgarner. He had a very good run, but he's not a guy who pitched, a
I
Hall
don't
of
know.
Fame career. I mean, if he was going to be like pretty decent, I mean, like above average for another like 5-6 years, I think he probably would have been in a Hall of Fame conversation just because of his postseason heroics and how dominant he was for a short period of time. but he really fell off too, and he was a workhorse. So is it you only have a certain amount of innings in your hand or in your arm, or is it the way they're throwing?
Yeah. Yeah. I don't
And
know.
then people are different too. You know what I mean? So it's I don't know. That's rough.
Yeah, but I also think that, years ago we didn't have this many pitchers throwing this hard. You know what I mean? Like the
100%.
aces in your team were pitchers. They
Yeah.
try to maneuver around lineups and stuff. They weren't just trying to throw it past you as
Right.
hard as they could. And
And,
it's gotta wear you down.
and not only that, but throwing max velocity when you're trying to whip your arm versus that's why you're not kids aren't supposed to be throwing sliders. You know what I
It's
mean? They're just
already an
supposed
unnatural motion. Yeah.
yeah. So it's like you're only supposed to be teaching. They say only teach your kid a change up and a fastball for however long because kids are getting Tommy John in freaking high school.
And
It's
it's hard because you hear some of these announcers and people be like, "Hey, man, if he threw a little less, like a little not so max, it's still good. He'll still get
yeah,
the out. It'll still be effective." But
right.
it's hard because when you were brought up to just throw hard, as hard as you can, max effort, then it's hard to just pull it back.
But not only that, I mean, if you're used to seeing a guy throwing 95 with spin and then he starts throwing 92 with spin, I mean, still, the hardest thing to do in sports is to hit a baseball, but I mean, it would be easier. You know what I mean? Like, you would have that, that extra little bit of time to catch up to the ball. So, I
Yeah.
mean, I
I mean,
think
that's
when pitchers are looking for edges to get better, if you're telling them to throw softer and they're already in the big leagues, it's like, well, fuck, dude, you're telling me to be less
yeah,
effective.
something I'm not. Yeah. I mean, I
So
guess
it's
we'll see
like,
how it works out with Bueller, a guy coming back from his second Tommy John as well. He doesn't throw what he used to throw either, so we'll see what kind of success he has.
right, right.
So
So
yeah, it's pretty bad around the league with these injuries, but hopefully it stops. Hopefully this is the
you,
end of it, and
maybe me
everybody's
and you
getting
can
healthy.
just start going to medical school. We can become, and we'll solve this whole thing. We just got to start. We got to start like maybe like 10 years ago, and
On
we
this
would be
pod,
here.
we're investigators, we're doctors, we're lawyers, we're
Yeah,
anything you need us to be.
yes, accusers and prosecutors, and uncovering conspiracies to make the Dodgers win a World Series. So
Exactly. If it ends up with the
everything you
Dodgers
need,
winning a World Series, then I'm all for it.
everything
Whatever
you
it takes.
need right here. Um, but good week in baseball. What do we got going on next week, Dave?
Well, I'm going to my first Dodger game this
Okay,
Friday.
going
So,
personal.
little personal. I'm finally going to go
Mm.
back to the stadium, taking my kiddos. So if anybody's out
Mm.
there and they see me, hi, I guess. I don't know. um,
Buy the man a drink.
by me, yes, sure. Um, Other than that, we're playing the Padres again, and then we get to see the Washington Nationals. So I predict, man, that was bad last week, my prediction, huh? I feel like we're gonna go 4-2. I'm gonna
Okay.
play it safe, and go 4-2. These next two, oh, it's a homestand. They're playing the Mets too, huh? Oh crap. Um, 6-3, 6-3.
Yeah. Why not?
Yeah,
Get positive, huh? That's all positive over there all the time.
that's
The
not positivity. That's me being a downer, man.
6-3. Fuck off. Um, the Giants are going on their second road trip of the year. They're going to Florida, um, playing the Rays. Blake Snell is going to face his former team. He is going to schedule a pitch against them, and the Miami Marlins. I Here's the thing. I know that the Marlins are bad, right? But I also know that the Giants, for some reason, have a hard time against the Marlins.
You can't
It's
say
just,
that against every team, man. You
but
just said that
it's
about the Nationals.
true. It's the Nationals and the Marlins. I
So
think
just the
that's
NL
it.
East.
No, I mean when the teams are good, they're good, and when they're bad, they're bad. But like I, those two teams. I mean, it's just it is what it is lately.
Yeah.
So, you know, I damn, I don't know. You know what? You know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna go complete opposite here. I think the Giants play both teams 3 times. Um,
Okay.
so I'm gonna go a 1-5. They're gonna get their ass beat because I've been wrong this entire time this year. So you know what? I'm gonna go reverse psychology. 1-5, the Giants are gonna go.
This
Who knows?
is
Maybe they go 5-1.
this is gonna be a beautiful bit that I'm just gonna crop out and just I'm gonna
Use all over the place.
use it everywhere, man. And when you're right, I'm gonna give you your flowers for the whole week.
Fuck.
I mean, that's pretty gutsy. 1-5. That's pretty haterish. But all right.
Pretty
I hope it
haterish.
comes
That's
true.
well, I've been hating you guys and you keep winning. So I'm maybe if I hate on my own team, they'll just start winning.
We'll see. I feel like you should handle both. The Rays are a good team, but I feel like you should handle the Marlins. But it
Yes.
never works out. You know, it never works out. Every time you think you got something in the book, something set in stone, it just doesn't happen. So we'll see.
Right. I mean, they've only had one series win the entire year, so they need it bad. But I wouldn't put my house on it. I'll tell you that right now. But I will predict that Blake Snell does go crazy on his former team. So
And he pitches like 100 pitches, and 75 of them are balls.
exactly. I think. Oh shoot, I'm re-looking this up, and it looks like the Giants are only playing the Rays. Nope, they're playing 3 times. I'm crazy. Don't listen to me. I'm stupid. But continue to listen to me next week when we come back here and we talk about our predictions for the week and how right I was and how Ohtani needs to be locked up for being a menace to society and just being a degenerate gambler.
Hey, if he had hit a moonshot against my team, I would want him locked up too.
I'm sure that's why he probably wanted to lock up Jorge Soler, all right, because this was a lot further. But yes, thank you so much for listening. Make sure to subscribe to us on your favorite podcasting platform as well as YouTube. Follow us on Instagram, Benches Cleared Podcast, Twitter, Benches Cleared P, and TikTok, Benches Cleared. And hang out with us next week. It's a good time.
Yeah, thank you for listening once again, and we'll see you next week.